There are always power relationships between hosts, insiders, and guests, outsiders. When welcome is something we give rather than also receive, it becomes wobbly and worse, paternalistic. When we lose our own self-interest in the act of welcome, we can become tasteless. And I don't just mean lacking in flavor. I mean oppressive. I mean that me, Tarzan, you, Jane relationship that no newcomer wants to know about. The underbelly of the beautiful value of welcoming is in its shoulds. When we welcome because we should, because we'll feel better ourselves, trouble starts. Wanting to receive the gift of the other is real welcome. It is mutual. It works both ways. Love is often defined as the mutual willingness to be changed constantly by the relationship. Welcome that lacks love or the mutual willingness to be changed is dangerous to both the giver and the givee. In our ancient text for today, the disciples are worried that some people are doing healings in the wrong way. Some of those people, some of them, are casting out demons in our name the wrong way. As a parallel, a more contemporary parallel, you might imagine a chef noticing that a brand new dish is being served in the restaurant, which dish has only the vaguest resemblance to what the chef put on the menu. Somebody's doing it their way. You can imagine a professor discovering that his students are doing a scientific experiment differently, using a different methodology, or a parent noticing that a child no longer is Christian like they're supposed to be, but has become Jewish, and that their grandchild is going to have a bris. Teacher, they're casting out demons in a different way. We saw someone doing that, casting out demons in your name, and we tried to stop them because he wasn't following us. Always watch out for that word, us. It implies a them. Jesus has no problem with this diversity of methodology or orientation, but his disciples do. Jesus clearly tells his disciples, don't stop those innovators and experimenters, these strangers, who indeed may just come along and take over your whole story. Instead, says Jesus, if these innovators, whom you call strangers, give just a cup of water to those with demons, they'll be with us and not against us. Our wide tent has room for many. We will all be flavored by what happens among us. He concludes the parable, the teaching about the salt. Flavor is good, is what Jesus is saying, and the more flavor, the better. Indeed, Jesus suggests that by hoarding your own salt, you might find that it sits around long enough to lose its flavor. So don't lose your own flavor by protecting it too much. Enjoy the innovators. They have something to give you. When a guest comes to your home, welcome them. They are not only here to eat or to steal the silver. They are here to bring you a gift. The self-interest in welcome, what we get out of welcome, is what we really want. It is salt and flavor and feast. The self-interest is so much larger than anything we could lose, even the power in the relationship, that it merits attention. Now, I simply have to talk about the immigration debate right here. I can't not. The underbelly of that debate is that immigrants, whom even our president is now calling illegal immigrants, don't deserve the silver. They are here to take, not to give. If only these United States could begin to appreciate the gifts of immigrants, not just to the gross national product or to the cultural flavors of this nation, but to ourselves as people who are desperate for flavor and salt and feast, we would become a great nation. have a salty beauty that we don't have now. We act instead as though we are the hosts and immigrants are the guests, and they really can't become part of us. They are a permanent they who only take and do not give. They don't deserve the America that we do. Now, do you deserve America? Do we deserve this? We inherited this. We inherited America. The idea that there's some other out there that doesn't deserve it, and we do, is idolatry, which breeds racism, which loses your salt and your stuff. And that's what's happening in this immigrant debate. When we lose our self-interest in befriending the other, we join in the debased language in a debased way. Note that we call our thems, and don't think for a minute that those of us who think the way I do about immigration don't have my own thems. I got them. I got them down. I call them AstroTurf, and we're grassroots. Or I loved this article in the Brooklyn Rail, which I agreed with everything but the title of it. The title was, "Intolerant Dickheads Come to Brooklyn." Now that's an us and them of some proportion. As this debate about immigration deepens, we have to be very careful that we don't become more chaff than wheat. We got to get good at our pelvic tilts and going underneath this notion of deserving. In every town hall, I'm going to stand up and say, who deserves America? Who? You? It's so funny. I could swear you inherited it just like I did. Now, not all closed communities are flavorless. This is important to say. For a resident of a small village in northern Tuscany where ritual and tradition are fiercely guarded, the invitation to contribute a dish to an elaborate communal meal is a long-awaited rite of initiation. You can live in this village in Tuscany for 25 years and not be invited to contribute a dish to the potluck. It's a rite of initiation when they think maybe your food is finally good enough, that maybe you could be invited to bring the fennel for next week. I don't think that's wrong. Closed communities might even be important. You're invited but not enveloped in that kind of community. At a great church in Portland, Oregon, whose slogan is "Good coffee, cool people, hot church," welcome is understood as something the people there do for themselves, not for the outsiders or the others. They enjoy their guests. Their guests aren't there to fill the pews or meet the budget or make them look good because they're so diverse. The guests are there because they're fun to have around. They add flavor. The same church won the slogan contest for Portland as a city. Their entry was "Keep Portland Weird." Good coffee, cool people, hot church, welcoming people, welcoming for the sake of the host and the guest, mutually, not one-sidedly. Nor does this congregation in Portland, by the way, enjoy my favorite ism, which is not racism or sexism or yada, yada, yada-ism. It is unique-ism. They know that they are part of a great welcoming movement, which, as we know, is often code for queers and gays in Protestantism today. Great. They know they are a small part of a big whole, and they like being that. They don't have to be the best, the greatest, or the first. They like being a cup of water in a mighty river and belonging to other people. You don't have to go to Tuscany to enjoy the folk value of a somewhat closed community or to